All right, friends, how are you today? Aaron here, bringing you some honest astrology about this full moon that we're having here on November 5th, 2025. Remember, the 5th of November. The gunpowder, treason, and plot. All right, what is going on here? Let's check it out. So that's from, what is that movie called? V for Vendetta, great movie. So this happened at 8 in the morning. All right, here's our sun over in Scorpio and our moon here in Taurus. What do these two signs represent? Scorpio is the underworld. We're going beneath, right? This is the horizon line here. This is below the horizon. This is where the sun is in autumn and winter, and this is spring and summer here. So the sun is going deep beneath in the underworld. And the moon here, which is illuminating the sun, is in Taurus. Taurus is about our material possessions, things that we love, want, and desire. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is here in Libra. Okay. Now, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, which is here in Sagittarius. So we have, this is my personal material possessions. Okay. This is my house, my material goods, this microphone, the camera, these lights, blah, 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 blah. This is my garden. This is a good way to look at it, my garden. And the moon is exalted here in Taurus because the moon, which is ruled by Cancer, meaning it's emotional waves. Emotional waves are volatile. They come up and they come down, up and down, up and down. Well, Taurus is the most stable sign in the zodiac, meaning it's flat earth, flat ground. This is a place that you build a solid home on. Okay, so everything that you love, want, and desire, this is the beautiful place of land that I want to create a home on. These are the beautiful gems and the things that I like, the diamonds or the stones, Petoskey stones, all these crystals and things I like. This is the car I love. This is the dress or the attire that I desire. This is my material possessions. Okay, and again, this also deals with my crops, my garden, my whatever. Okay. Now over here in Scorpio, which is again ruled by Mars, meaning action. This is taking action. Now, the beautiful thing about this, the axis point here between Scorpio and Taurus is Mars deals with everything that you love, or excuse me, Venus is everything that you love, want, and desire. Mars, Scorpio energy, is how you get those things. Okay, so Mars is action, Venus is the desire. All right. So the desire is over here in the moon. So the moon is saying, what do I desire that's going to keep me stable? What do I desire that's going to bring stability into my life? How can I illuminate this in a place of underworld, in a place of great change, in less light? All right. If this is everything that is ours personally, this is everything that is ours collectively, okay? So what do we mean by this? Let's come back here. So let's say I have a lot of spinach, all right, and you grew a lot of carrots, and our neighbor over there, they grew a lot of wheat. Well, these are mine, my spinach and your carrots and their wheat, okay? Individually, throughout the year, as the sun has been above the horizon, above the equator, we personally have focused our time and energy on that of which we love, want, and desire, and that which we try to cultivate. That Virgo energy that we talked about a couple months ago, this is how we give back to society, okay? So in the ways that we give back to society, we accumulate, we cultivate together and say, okay, well, my spinach and your carrots and your wheat, together we can make a meal, right? And your potatoes over there. So it's like together we accumulate collectively. What can we bring to the table for each other to keep us alive, to keep us surviving and thriving? This is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, if you want to stay alive all winter long, you got to go together. So this is an opportunity for us to connect with the right people. This is, again, for the next 6 months. We really have a lot of energy of connecting with others, connecting with others, connecting with others. And there's a lot here in this particular full moon astrology. Let me come back to the chart and show you. Okay, so there's this illumination of what can we bring together that's yours and mine, that we can add stability. in a place of uncertainty. We don't know how cold it's going to get. We don't know how dark it's going to get. We don't know when the sun's going to be really back warm again. You know, we can watch the chart. We can watch the sun's movement through the zodiac, but there's uncertainties as we navigate into the winter months, the autumn and winter months. Okay, so now one of the first things that pops up in this chart is this grand water trine that you see right here. Okay, with Jupiter in Cancer, we got Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, and we have Saturn here in Pisces, and of Neptune as well, and the North Node. So this is like collective energy. Okay, this is dreams, our imagination. This is saying collectively we have to go into this. We have to go into this space, more into the unknown, more into the right brain, and less in our logical left brain thinking. Mathematics, language, left, right, black, white, you know, there's a lot more of the collective consciousness going on right now. So this grand water trine, okay, between Black Moon, Lilith, we can say all three of these clump together here within a pretty close proximity, this conjunction of North Node move in this direction together. Saturn says, make this real, stamp it. Don't be afraid to make it official, right? Let's go from the world of possibilities to pulling the trigger on it, you know, meaning commitment to something. Neptune is about our dreams. So this is like committing to our dreams in a way, all right? To committing to our dreams, and then there's abundance and expansion of our emotions. So when we're committing to our dreams and we're expanding that of our emotions, committing to our dreams, and then this is understanding our own shadow. I see a lot of misinformation and communication around Black Moon Lilith. This is not the divine feminine goddess energy. That's not what this is. The sun is the divine energy. Okay, this is our shadow side. This is our barbarian, brutal aspect of ourselves. It says me first and nobody else, and I'm gonna get what I want no matter what. So we have shadow sides to ourselves that we have to identify. We have shadows in our collective. This is what's mine, what's yours, what's ours. Where are we being stingy? Where are we being greedy? Where have we opened up in the past for a good, healthy relationship that went sour, and now we're holding on to emotions, and that every new person that we meet has to now get over this emotional wall that we've created in order to come to our true essence of ourself. Okay, so it's like we've given away that goodness to somebody else, and now we've built up a wall to everybody that comes in our way, that we have, you know, this thing that they have to decipher, this, you know. And this deals with other people. Okay, so one of these big things here is this emotional wall. Now, we have beautiful points here with the South Node in Virgo and Uranus here in Gemini. Uranus is the breakthrough planet, the great awakener. This is the lightning striking. This is the earthquake, the volcano eruption. Okay, and Gemini is about communication and information. So what does that mean? It means there's going to be breakthrough communication and information that comes your way that affects your expansive emotions. Okay, now we can also see this is creating a trine here over to Pluto. Pluto is transformation. In the 11th house of Aquarius, this deals with your community at large. This deals with knowledge and technology. So knowledge and technology and community are being radically changed. And then we have this other one here, South Node over in Virgo, also creating this septile. The septiles are a gift from the universe. Okay, what I see with this energy, this is a lot of letting go. This is emotionally letting go of things that do not serve us. Now I work with come back here. I work with ayahuasca, and I've held ceremonies here in the U.S. for over 6 years. Work with this stuff down in Peru, and when we work with this, it's called the vine of the dead for a reason. And people can go their whole lives holding on to grudges, holding on to anger, holding on to hate, frustration, a thing that happened with somebody in the past for years that they might not have communicated and confronted. And I'm a big fan of just get it out, communicate, confront the person, and resolve that issue that's between these two parties. Just get it out in the open. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Literally, whatever. So sometimes we can go through our lives and we hold on to these grudges. We hold on to anger in our hearts, resentment in our hearts. We hold on to resentment of who the president is. We hold on to resentment of the collective consciousness or where people are at. And I can't be happy and I can't be myself until all of these other people agree and have the same views that I have, or whatever, you know. And I see people that get cancer or go on their deathbed, and then they want to talk to someone like me and say, is it too late for this? And I watched people go through these mental and emotional transitions with the work of ayahuasca and then not. And it's like, when you're on this deathbed, it's like these emotions that we're holding on to, these grudges that we're holding on to, wear the grudge like a crown, right? It gets heavy. That crown gets real heavy. These grudges get very heavy that we're emotionally holding on to. And it's like, they don't serve us. We can learn how to avoid danger, how to avoid certain situations by understanding these, but holding on to these grudges, holding on to this emotional resentment, holding on to this emotion that doesn't really serve us, what that's doing is it's really hurting us. Okay, so I've seen people, it's like on your deathbed, they're finally getting to this place of healing, of getting their minds and their emotions right, and it's just like, wow, I've been holding on to this for so long. And what we hold on to in our minds and our hearts is manifesting outwardly, and we can see disease, we can see it manifest in the auric field, the non-physical body, before it gets to the physical body. And then when we work with something like ayahuasca, or any of these psychedelics, but ayahuasca specifically is called the vine of the dead, because we kind of get put in this scenario where we get confronted face to face with some of these issues. And we don't have to wait until we're on our deathbed to confront some of this stuff, to free our minds and free our hearts of whatever we're holding on to. And during this has been a very interesting couple of months, this big transitions. And I remember I got even teary-eyed a couple of months ago sitting here talking with you, and you said, my friends, I see it. I see these beautiful branches that you've created that you have to let go of. You know, you've worked for so many years creating this branch of your life. That branch could be a partner. It could be a business partner. It could be a work associate. It could just be a friendship. And all of a sudden, through this, that, or the other, for whatever reason, that friendship, that business relationship, the job has just completely broken and fallen off when the bow breaks. You know, and it's like, it's done. It's done. And we aren't trees, we are human beings, and we can look back and say, oh my God, I worked so hard on creating that branch, and that one branch, you know, so many apples grew from this one branch that I really worked hard to produce for people, and some people enjoyed the apples and some people took a bite and threw it away. So we have the thought process, past thoughts, that allow us to bring those past into the present. And I can sit here and I can just be so sad over all the things in the past that didn't work out how I wanted them to. I have the ability to be in my mind and just sit here and think about every past relationship of every woman I've ever loved that didn't work out. And I could sit here and beat myself up, or I should have done this, or I should have done that. Or I can take these as learning tools for the belt and say, okay, now here's time. This is time to grow. And this is, you know, water under the bridge. And now I have to move forward and be the best version of myself moving forward. So we have a lot in this chart of like the universe is literally lining these things up to get rid of these things in your life. And now mentally, in our minds, we could be emotionally overwhelmed. Like, no, I miss this old part of my life. I miss the old alcoholic aspects of my life where I would just get blackout drunk every night. I miss these parts of my life where I was reckless. I miss this feeling of nodding off, or this feeling of, you know, of when the drugs kicked in, right? There's a lot dealing with drugs and stuff here too, guys. You know, this Pisces and Virgo axis, full illumination on our emotions. And it's like, what you love, want, and desire, Venus, and how you get that stuff, right? So it's like Mars, action, Sun in Scorpio, Venus, Moon, emotional, want, need, desire. But what you're needing is stability. So if it's drugs, if it's something that's not bringing stability to your life, this full moon is a great opportunity to set it down, to not go buy that beer, to not buy the whatever, right? To take a real good look at yourself and what you're trying to create. Again, back to this ayahuasca stuff. There's a lot here in this chart that's like the great change is essential. And your willingness to embrace this great change and not being so emotionally stubborn right now that this is the way that the world has to be, that this is the way that it has to work out. And if it doesn't work out like this, then I can't shine my true brightest self. Like, what do we ever think about that? Do we ever think about the sun or the great creator itself and all this stuff and say like, oh, wow, what if the great creator was just like, you know what, humans, this isn't what I wanted for you. I'm not going to shine the bright light today. I'm not going to shine the sun today. I'm going to stop moving, but we do that. We have this contingent, conditional aspects of humanity. They're like, well, I'm not going to love anymore. I'm not going to show up anymore because this, that, and the other. I'm not going to give my best because they didn't give their all. I'm not going to show up with love because somebody hurt me in the past. And now all men are terrible or all women are terrible. It's like, come on. And then we look for this stuff. We try to line up things that like, we see it on our social media align with certain people that want to solidify these ideas. And there's so much here with I'm coming back to the chart. There's just so much here in our brains right now. It's like letting go of these ideas that you have that you think you've got the world figured out. You don't. You just don't. Neither do I. I'm not going to pretend that I do. That's the beauty of the astrology. It's like we don't know. We really do not know. But what we can figure out here is there is great change coming, and we have to continuously show up and be ourselves. And as far as the love, want, and desire, Mars, Mercury, or Mars and Venus, let's take a look at those for a second. So Mars and Mercury together in Sagittarius, and Venus is here in Libra. So the illumination point, Mars. Illumination point, Sun, Scorpio, dealing with Mars, conjunct Mercury. Where are we illuminating from? Okay, this is not only about our collective together and getting the right people on our team, which is extremely important. You get the wrong people on your team, they're going to hold you back. This is like philosophy, higher education, right? The people that you need on your team are the people that you're going to resonate with communication-wise. If you're not on the same page communication-wise, they're not going to add to the stability here. They're not going to add to stability here. We have to be thinking about big picture with those or who we're communicating with and whatever our personal big picture is. And as far as what we love, want, and desire is about balance and about creating the appropriate people that we do love and have a lot of love for in our environment. And balance, there's no relationship in the world that doesn't take work and require balance. We have to choose every single day. We have to choose this relationship. We have to choose our partner. We have to choose saying yes to this experience. We have to choose saying yes to the job, yes to whatever it may be, and to try to create balance. And if you live alone, if you're by yourself, 99.9% of the time, you realize that you're not always happy with self, right? It's hard to make self happy all the time, let alone having somebody else make self happy or self making somebody else happy all of the time. It's an impossible feat. So we're going to disappoint each other. We're going to find times where we didn't bring the best out of somebody, but we wanted to, and it didn't happen. So we're just going to disappoint each other from time to time. And it's just about continuously choosing to show up, have the higher communication. The higher communication is so extremely important. Instead of holding the grudges and holding on to resentment and anger and, well, you did this, which means ultimately this, and you will never be able to learn, you'll never be able to expand, you're never going to be able to grow, this is just how you are, and my mind is made up that that's how you are, and I'm going to keep you in this little cage, this prison that I've created mentally and emotionally for you forever. until you prove to me otherwise. It's not fair. It's not fair to do that to other people. It's not fair that we do that to ourselves. So we have to, like, we can learn and grow and expand, and we don't always need somebody to rub our faces in it in order for us to experience and know that we did something that we don't approve of, or something that we would do differently the next time we did it. So all of this is trying to create stability in our lives. We're trying to create stability in a time there is great emotional change. There's a huge need for expanding our social connection, and that social connection is going to change us as a result, right? So it's like we're going through our own personal process, and we're trying to attract the right people. That means this new group of people, these new individuals that you're going to align with, or you're going to start spending more time with, we always raise, if there's a clock with a pendulum here on this wall and the clock with the pendulum on this wall, they're going to tick-tock at their own individual tick-tocks. You put them on the same wall together and they swing together. It's entrainment, okay? So when you start hanging out with this new crowd, it might feel a little uncomfortable because you're going to start swinging together. You start swaying together, but you're going to get into a groove. You're going to get into a flow. And that's the exciting thing. So don't be afraid of that new flow. Don't be afraid of getting out of the groove that you're stuck in, and to connect with this larger group, the larger audience, the larger circle that wants the same or similar stability. They want unity. They want growth. It's all about growth, emotional change, not waiting for the world to change for us to shine our brightest. But it's like I put this video out the other day about what is God. And it's just like, we're all God, and God is literally choosing you at every moment of every single day, this creator. And I'm not talking about the Christian concept of God. I'm talking about all that is. The creator is choosing you every single day, every moment of every day. The creator says, yes, I want to experience life through your eyes. I want to experience life through your ears. I want to hear the world through how you hear music, how you hear the voice. I want to sing through your vocal cords, right? This is great spirit source energy. I want to sing through you. It's just like there's so much emotional turbulence, so much emotional turmoil of so much change that sometimes we forget that we're these divine beings, where there's this great divine interaction. And it's something to get excited about. It's something to be joyous about, and to remember this connection. This is not just self. This is a co-creating experience of self, whatever self is, and co-creating with all of you, whatever you are, and co-creating this experience with spirit and source energy, because there's going to be a day that this spirit source energy isn't living in this vessel anymore. So it's an exciting time to be living in this vessel. It's an exciting time to be living in this third dimension. It's an exciting time to illuminate what we want to be stable into our lives, who we want to create stability with. And through all of this great change, we can find stability. We can remember our own emotions. We can come back to ourselves, and just remember that this pruning, this purging, this falling of the leaves, falling of the branches, this is a natural part of life. And to be a little bit less in our logical mind and saying, oh, well, the tree branch broke off because I'm not strong enough to hold it. The tree branch broke off because it doesn't love me anymore. It doesn't want the sweet nutrients that my roots are bringing up to it. It's like, no, this only is going to create separation divides. Like, some things just work exactly how they're supposed to. I want to share this with you guys because I think this is actually really relevant. I lost a couple good friends recently. I thought they were good friends. In my mind, I thought they were good friends. And something happened that seemed off to me, and it's been a feeling for a while. This emotion, there's a lot of trine, this emotional trine, Jupiter, expansion of emotions, the Sun in Scorpio, watery emotions, Black Moon, Lilith, all of this water Pisces energy. It's just like, what is going on here? What is the illusion and what is reality? So I confronted these two people with this thing. I said, this makes me feel kind of uneasy. Here's this thing. Unfortunately, these two people that I thought near and dear of, that I thought we were on a team, I thought we were together, I thought we were working towards this collective goal, instead of focusing on the topic at hand, which is this thing here, instead they chose to communicate all this other stuff. and take personal jabs and communicate all of these other things that had nothing to do with this. And of course that hurt, right? It's like, well, here I am talking about this issue, and then it's like you want to deflect, or they wanted to deflect, and instead of allowing the light to shine on themselves and say, yes, let's talk about this. Instead, what happened is saying, no, I don't want the light on me. Let's pull the light. Let's put it back on you. And the reason that you this. And now I'm going to take jabs at you. And I'm going to make you feel small, or make you try to make you feel a certain way. But the reality is, all I did is shine a light on this issue. So if I hadn't, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if I hadn't shined the light on the issue, those individuals would still be holding some sort of a resentment or something to me, onto me, projecting that onto me on a psychic level, meaning they're not physically coming at me, but they're holding me in this cage. They're putting me in this box of this thing, of something that happened 2.5 years ago. Crazy. Something that happened 2.5 years ago. So it's something so simple and can be so easily resolved. But instead of communicating it, they hold on to the resentments, hold on, right? This water trine of emotions, hold on to the emotions. And then as soon as something comes up about their behavior, then it's released. It's like the unpinched hose coming back and now being thrown at me, which shined the light on everything that I was feeling was exactly right. And had I not communicated that, I'd still be in the dark. They would still be holding these things onto me, projecting these things onto me, and I might still feel that, right? We feel things. Like if I'm doing this, if I'm actually poking you, this one thing, if I'm pointing at you, you can feel that. But if I'm mentally like you're this, you're that, or you're a whatever, you are a bad person, you are a liar, you are a cheater, you are a not whatever, right? When you're projecting something onto somebody, it's just like they can feel that stuff. We can feel that stuff. This is taking up too much time now, but I even feel that way about our politics. Like, I didn't vote for who's sitting in the office. Collectively, we all did. We all voted for who's sitting in the office. But where do I want to be as an individual? Do I want to hold on to this emotional resentment? Or do I want to say, I wish you the best because you are representing the country I live in? See, that's the way I try to go to. And people get a lot mad at me like, oh, well, the right kicks me to the left kicks me to the right. It's almost kind of funny. But when we hold this mentality of like, I wish you the best. I don't want to have this psychic energy of putting you in this, the isosceles triangle, this is the most solid structure in nature. So not even a box. It's like you're putting people in this emotional box. Like you can never be good. It's like I'm way too much time now, but it's just like when Trump signed this peace deal in the Middle East, it's like he was so put in this box, this triangle that you can't get into of anger, that we couldn't even celebrate the win, or that something good is actually happening over here, or this individual is doing something good. There was so many people on the left that and they're still angry about it. They can't let go of their anger, right? They're just keeping it in this little triangle. They're keeping it in this perfect box that they can't even. So it's like this energy here. Whoever's still sticking around with me, thank you. This isosceles triangle and the forces of the universe with knowledge and information and letting go are coming here and emotionally allowing us to expand. Allowing us to expand into what? Into emotional stability. Because we can't just keep going on in life blaming everybody else for the reasons that we're not pleased, we're not happy with ourselves. The reason I can't live my best today is because you and this person and that person. We got to take the high road. We got to learn new information, actively seeking new information, actively creating balance. All right, my friends, that is a lot out of me today. Again, if you watch this far, give it a like, a share, anything, a comment. All that stuff kind of helps. It's a small channel, it helps it grow. I love you. I wish you enough. Hope you have a happy full mooning. We'll see you next time.